All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host Chris Crenshaw, and we are live from the 704 once again for episode 208 of the ft.Ian Exchange. And well, listen, I mean, you see it. It's a new setup. I don't think I've ever done the pod. I think I did some practice episodes from like my well, actually, that wasn't even my room. From my like office. This is the like well, I guess technically this would be my office, but it's like the office end of my room, and then like the rest of it, like behind me, is in my room. But I don't think I've ever recorded a podcast in my room. So yeah, a little bit different. All right, we're gonna be trying and seeing which setup works. We're at the new house, by the way, which has been it's a state of chaos. All right, it's a beautiful house. My room is massive. The house is massive. I love everything about it except for the fact that it's always something. All right, I'm quickly learning here in my young adult life that it's always something when you move. Whether it's the dryer cord being wrong and then you can't get the screws off because they're cooked, or it's the fact that we have no Wi-Fi right now. Yes, I am recording this podcast with no Wi-Fi. None. I've had no Wi-Fi for the past 24 hours because somebody can't do their job. But that's a story for another show, another day. It is 208. We had UFC 304, and we got to talk about what happened. That's going to kick us off. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for that red, white, and blue. And even though I'm wearing Yankee stuff, we'll talk about the MLB and the Roundup. But like I said, it's the Olympics going on. That kicked off this week. We got to talk about that, what's going on with Team USA. And yeah, it was a big week in entertainment. I just got back from a movie. You might know which one I'm talking about. And of course, what happened in Game of Thrones. And I did finish Vikings Valhalla before I lost Wi-Fi. So we will see what happens there. And we'll see my thoughts on, everybody's adventures and how that went for Harold and Leaf and Frades. So yeah, plenty to talk about in today's episode. I'm recording this mad late as well. But as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. And as always, as I always say, everything you're looking for can be found in the description. All right, everything you're looking for can be found in my description. My social media links, if you want to follow me there, you can find that in my description. All right, timestamps. All right, you want timestamps? They're also embedded in the video. I know it's long form content. Skip ahead to whatever you want to hear me yap about. Also, are provided in the description. But like I said, without further ado, we got things to attend to, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, namely UFC 304, which I have questions. And Dana was not very happy. And after realizing the situation of the fact that we were in England for this card, right? The two England champions at the time were the headliners, right? And Leon Edwards and Tom Aspinall, right? So we were overseas. But why was the fight card at like our normal time? And it was 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning over there. I think maybe that factored in why we had 7 straight decisions on this card. It wasn't a bad card, I would go as far as saying, but it wasn't a pretty, I mean, honestly, it was about what we expected, what we talked about last week. That clip, part of it got posted for, that was the TikTok clip of the week, talking about Leon and Belal. I mean, that pretty much set the tone for the card, besides what Tom did, which we'll talk about. But I feel like Leon and Belal, what you expected, kind of set the tone for what you expected for the card. Also, the fighting in the morning, which is like way, way in the morning, which is crazy to me. And it's not like UFC hasn't bumped the cards around before to like fit the actual time plate. So I don't know. All right, I don't know why they did it this way. I think that was really unfair on the fighters. And then Dana's talking about, we're moving it down to 50K. I didn't like how he went about that. But UFC 304 has come and gone. So let's see who's still champion out of those two that we just talked about. You know who's not champion? Leon Rocky Edwards. Because I'm gonna be honest, bro, he didn't show up. Actually, he did show up. He showed up for the last 30 seconds of this fight, but that was about it. Belal, and let me give Belal his flowers, right? Because Belal gets disrespected a lot. By the way, hats off, first ever Palestinian champion in the UFC. Gotta give him his flowers, right? I'm gonna give Belal his flowers. We get, like I said, we disrespect him a lot. We joke about him a lot, about his fight style, but whatever you want to say, he has worked his way into now being the number 1 welterweight in the world. He is the welterweight champion. You can't take it away from him. Just like I talked about with, as much as we feel about Sean Strickland and how much that ended up being a fluke. And I think Belal is just a little bit better than Strickland, I'm going to be honest, as a mixed martial artist. But he's a champion. All right, he's a champion. Won it fair and square. He beat Leon Edwards. He straight up beat Leon Edwards. He outstruck Leon Edwards. And what really killed him was the grappling, the wrestling. He had Belal looking like a Dagestani out there. Not that Belal's not, obviously we know he's a top flight grappler, wrestler, especially in welterweight, which is known as somewhat as the the wrestlers division. But still, he put on a clinic. He had 9 takedowns. of Leon Edwards. I mean, Leon just, I don't know. He looked tired. I don't know if maybe it was the time difference of him having to fight in the morning, because he looked tired in this fight. Belal was relentless, and Leon, even more than just, with the pressure, looked like he was fighting through molasses in this fight. It was strange from the guy that was supposed to be, whole leg shot dead, take out Usman, to just look so sluggish in this fight. Which credit to Belal, defensively and just, that constant pressure for wearing Rocky down and for just giving Leon nowhere to, win this fight. Not until the end where he busted him over on the elbow, but it was too little too late. It was far too little too late. You can't go down three rounds and expect to win. You just can't. You just can't. And yeah, Belal, well deserved. After that performance, well deserved. It's not the prettiest style. It will put you to sleep if you were not, big into grappling and wrestling and backpacking. But he's a champion. At the end of the day, Belal is a champion. And he stands for a lot of really good people. So credit to Belal. And like I said, he's the welterweight champion. You can't take anything from him. Leon Edwards didn't show up. I have no sympathy for him. Heavyweight crown. Listen, I don't care what Jon Jones says. I don't care what Dana White says. I don't care what Dana White says. I don't care what John says. I don't care what any of their fanboys say. The real heavyweight king. The real heavyweight king's name is Tom Aspinall. And like I said last week, it was going to be easy work this week. It was going to be easy work on Saturday. And that's what it was. It was real easy work against Curtis Blaydes. Now, Curtis Blaydes, credit. He once again fought himself to another title contention opportunity. But once again, like it always happens for him in a big match, he got put to sleep. He got put down. I mean, he get slumped. He went out with his dignity. But, he got KO'd. He got KO'd. Tom, from the moment the bell rang, from the millisecond it rang, it was night and day. It was a clear difference who the better fighter was. It was visceral. Visceral that Tom Aspinall was on a different level from Curtis Blaydes. And Tom was not going to play around and let this go for 2, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, let this, be a little bit of a slugfest, draw it out. Nah, this was a mauling. An absolute mauling. The real heavyweight king is British, and his name is Tom Aspinall. John might be the GOAT. He might be the GOAT. But he's not the best heavyweight in the world. He is not. And you earn nothing. Just like we just talked about last week with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Even on a lesser extent, but still, same principle. Jon Jones doesn't get any added contention for, beating a 43-year-old Stipe fresh out of retirement when he's been firefighting for the past 2-3 years. You don't get anything from that. Oh, you beat Stipe. You beat a retired Stipe. You didn't beat prime Stipe. It's worthless. It's worthless. You just, for what? That doesn't add to your GOAT conversation. Just because you knock off a name. Right. If you go fight Randy Couture, it's the same principle, right? John should go fight Randy. Right? Or go fight Chuck. Same principle. So I don't know what the infatuation with I have to fight Stipe thing is. With him and Dana. It's weird to me. But yeah, he gets nothing for that. All right, it's weak. You're not the heavyweight champ. You want to prove that you still got it. You want to prove that you're the GOAT. Go fight the young gun. Go fight the new king of the division. Go find out if you still got it. Go fight the real number one. Because that interim tag don't mean nothing right now when he's wiping through that division the way that you want. Aspinall is my top dog in heavyweight. I don't know about you. I don't think it's really up for debate either. John, come outside. Patty. Woo! Patty smoked on King Green. Oh my goodness. There was a lot of decisions, but the 2 maulings with Tom Aspinall and then Patty Pimblett put on for the English flag. Patty was in fact the baddie. All right, another Christian Bale-esque body transformation as we talked about last week. And yeah, he just came out and smoked. The transition from what was it? The guillotine to the triangle. That was absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Nobody can question. People can question how high Patty can go, potential-wise, but you cannot question his grappling expertise. And King or Bobby Green does not get submitted like that. He doesn't get finished like that. So for that to happen to him, that's just different. That is just different. You gotta give your hats off to Patty for that performance. Very, very impressive stuff. That's the stuff that makes, he belongs here. He's not just a gimmick. It's not just, the crowd is behind this one guy. He's got the goods to back it up, and he showed that against King Green. Shout out to Patty because he smoked them. And so, go with the rest of this UFC 304 card. Arnold Allen. I was just relentless, simply relentless. Giga does not look like the same fighter that he was like a couple years ago. It's a very fast difference. I don't want to say he's washed already, but he might be washed. But yeah, Arnold simply just relentless there. However, the Patty was great. Meatball Molly, I don't know how much longer they're going to be able to keep her around because she just does not have it. Um, Brazil, by the way, your last name being Brazil and you being from Brazil, I don't know if that's like her real name or whatever it was, but she took care of Meatball Molly. Mokiev and Kape were beefing the entire week, and then Mokiev got released after because apparently I think there's some issues going on behind the scenes. But yeah, he beat Manuel despite the beef and them going back and forth, but then he gets released. So we will see what happens there. But ladies and gentlemen, UFC 304 has come and gone. Next up, of course, is the return of the last style bender in the fight that he wanted before he even lost to Sean Strickland. He wanted DDP. Well, DDP has his title. We'll see if he can get it back, or maybe DDP really is the king of Africa. We'll find out then. But ladies and gentlemen, that was UFC 304. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for entertainment. And well, we had Comic-Con this weekend, right? We had Comic-Con happened, and I don't know if you saw, but Marvel trying to make a little comeback. All right, they're trying. I'll give them that. They're giving a valiant attempt of coming back. It's funny though, and I don't know how I feel about it. Even though RDJ is fantastic, I don't know how I feel about him playing Doctor Doom. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how it's gonna work. Also, I feel like I don't know. I gotta see how they're gonna do it though. Not the RDJ, tremendous actor. I find it very funny how it was like, oh, he's free from comic book storylines and playing story comic book character. He can play these like original characters, and then he just they send him a bucket of money and he comes back. So found that funny, but yeah. RDJ playing Doom, gonna be interesting to see how that works. Doom, of course, I love an iconic villain in all of just any type of like cinema, entertainment, however whatever form you want to call it. So yeah, big shoes to fill, but very excited. He's taking over for King as the head villain. I think it's called Avengers Doomsday in 2 years, and then of course you've got Secret Wars in 3 years. So yeah, will be interesting. We also got a little sneak peek at Fantastic Four. It's about what I'm expecting. I think it's gonna be interesting to see how they tell that story. I don't think it's gonna be exactly an origin story, but definitely it seems like they're taking some elements. So yeah, that'll be very interesting. But yeah, Comic-Con has come and gone, and Marvel trying to make a little bid. That wasn't the only big piece of Marvel news this week. Of course, Deadpool and Wolverine finally dropped. I did go see it today. That is the movie I was talking about earlier in the intro. And it was good. I saw the audience generally liked it. And I saw a few mixed reviews just about pacing and like the humor. But I thought it was still very good. I honestly, I enjoyed it. Had a bunch of laughs. It never felt like it really jumped the shark. So yeah, Ryan Reynolds was born to play Deadpool, and Hugh Jackman was born to play Wolverine. I think they both did very good jobs. This had all of the cameos, all right? All of the cameos that you would expect with Deadpool now being in the MCU. All of the fourth wall breaks. We had Jennifer Garner come back as Elektra. We had Wesley Snipes as Blade. We had Gambit, Shannon Tatum. Of course, X-23 made it into the main timeline. So I love that for Daft. Getting to see her continue to play Laura, because she's become a great actor. A great actress, should I say now. And yeah, I would love to see her. She was great as a young star as X-23. She was good in this as well. So I'd love to see if they explore that further. Hugh did a good job kind of showing us the separation of the different Wolverines. We also got to see the different Wolverine variants, including a Henry Cavill Wolverine variant. So that was very, very interesting. But yeah, it was very good. Cassandra Nova, or Cassandra Xavier was very interesting as this like almost not even like she didn't really go full villain until like the end, but that was interesting. We didn't see who female Deadpool was, or if it was Blake. We do not know. But yeah, all the Deadpool, variants. It was again, it was exactly what you would expect out of this movie. Is exactly what it delivered, and I think that's all it needs to do. So yeah, Deadpool Wolverine. First movie, we talked about in a while, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. House of the Dragon this week was all about the dragon seeds. All about the dragon seeds. Whether it was Adam, who just claimed sea smoke, and him and Corlys and Alan, and that's honestly of the subplots probably been one of my favorites. I know a lot of people are kind of over Harrenhal, and I think Harrenhal almost stole the show. Oscar Tully. Whew, that young boy got potential, don't he? He got some potential, don't he? But yeah, and the way he just G-checked Damon. Okay, young Tully. But I know a lot of people have had, issues. No Alice in this episode, by the way, with Harrenhal, but I've enjoyed Harrenhal and Damon's spooky adventures. But I know a lot of people are tired and want him to get back to. But in the books, he spends a lot of time. They gotta fill in these gaps with what happened. It wasn't just dragon fight after dragon fight after dragon fight. So gotta set everything up. I think it's going again. The season finale is next week, so we gonna get busy for sure. We did see some of the dragon seeds make it. Of course, Vermin Thor goes to Hugh. I believe it was Silverwing ends up with Ulf. So Rhaenyra's plan works out. Jace is fed up. Okay, it's fed up, and it's a little bit Rhaenyra's fault. I'm gonna be honest. She hasn't been the best mother over the past, and really hasn't been the best ruler. Which I think of the kind of they've whitewashed, of course, a lot of Rhaenyra in the books and kind of to what the character is in the show is a much more typical goody two shoes protagonist. At least kind of Emma's version of Rhaenyra. I think you still had a little bit of that flair in Millie's. And they took away some of that characterization, which I don't like. But with that said, it's going to be very interesting to see how she moves. She finally looked somewhat commanding, like she might actually do something. They got, Vhagar chasing, Vhagar always on smoke, but she did listen to Aemon this time and did turn around. So we'll see what happens there. Alicent is just kind of down bad. No Kristen, I don't think really saw in this episode. Aegon and Larys are still plotting. Aegon's trying to recover. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. That preview was very interesting because Dreamfire in the book, spoiler alert, does not fly in the war, but Aemon and Helena get a scene that's going to be very interesting. But yeah, House of the Dragon, it was all about the Dragon Seeds this week, though. All about the Dragon Seeds. It's going to be an interesting season finale. I also finished, like I said, Vikings Valhalla this past week. And yeah, it was very good. It was very good. I felt like a tad rushed. Like they were like, okay, we're going to wrap it up this season. I feel like, they could have extended some of the storylines a little bit longer. But, for what it was and them wrapping everything up, I still think it delivered, putting Harold in the position that he is and giving a satisfying ending to his narrative and his story. Seeing him go against Magnus and that, dealing in that entire great season finale. Freydis and her storyline, I think they wrapped that up really well with her, going off with Leaf and Leaf, going to be the explorer we know he is. I did enjoy the Harold and Leaf team ups one last time, and then the trio, the iconic trio teaming up one last time. Hopefully young Harold turns out okay. Canute and Emma had a really satisfying. Honestly, that was the kind of the theme, just like really satisfying ends for all these characters. Canute and Emma, really came together as Canute's final days, and Emma showing her strength, and then with the kids. So yeah, Emma was great. Florian, big nasty, pulling up as the Roman general. He was very menacing as a villain. Very showed some range from him playing Drago, which you just still have those elements that of course he's casted to play, but definitely showed some acting improvement. So I'll give Florian his flowers for that. And then of course Godwin is just the best. All right, I'll miss Godwin. Seeing him go feral and get to it, go savage was fun. But yeah, I'll miss Godwin. He was a great character. But yeah, Vikings Valhalla definitely delivered in its last season. I will miss it. Music. All right, we had a couple things, couple singles. Honestly, we had a little EPs maybe at most. We had Goldmine, Aitch and D-Block Europe, who's been on a hell of a run this past 2 years. Honestly, for you OG fans of him, probably longer than that. But I've definitely been seeing him pop up a lot more these past 2 years on some more mainstream stuff. But yeah, him and Aitch, Goldmine, more good stuff. Again, I think Aitch is cooking up a album. I'm ready for it. So whenever he wants to drop that, we will be here for it. Gordo and Drake. Gordo dropped an album this week. I didn't listen to it full, but I did listen to both Drake songs. It was top level Drake house. All right, I'm not gonna lie. It was top level Drake house. Sideways and Healing. I think Sideways was my favorite of the two, but both of them made the playlist. Both were very good stuff. So yeah, shout out to Gordo and Drizzy for giving us something for the summer. Tory Lanez. I don't know how they pulled this off. Honestly, it's very impressive. So shout out to the engineer, but he dropped what he's calling prison tapes because, of course, as you know, Tory's locked up, but still dropped some very good music called Cell 245 and Wish I Never Met You. Still somehow, it sounded crispy, like normal Tory. I don't know how they pulled this off of a gel phone and how they were able to get that mix correctly because it feels like they give him a studio in the cell. Like it was very very impressive. So yeah, shout out to Tory. Um, he's a very talented. I mean, regardless of what you think about him as a like person, very very talented musician, very talented artist. I said that even before the whole like Meg incident. And just kind of that all fell when he really got hot during COVID. We were talking about that, but yeah, Tory, uber talented. Don't know how he pulled that off, but credit to him because two very very good songs from that situation is crazy. And then yeah, finish us off. Lil Yachty dropped "Hate Me" and "Let's Get On Dey Ass" ft.Ian, or "Hate Me" ft.Ian, and then "Let's Get On Dey Ass." Concrete going through some stuff. Apparently, Kara left, so don't know what to do with that. But yeah, nothing groundbreaking from Yachty, but or Ian, but I enjoyed both. 2 for 2 in my opinion. Though I can definitely see some of the criticisms because yeah, I feel like Yachty is risking almost overexposure. Like it's he's having his like renaissance moment, but I also feel like people are kind of wearing on him. Like he's risking a little bit of overexposure, crazy as it sounds, but we will see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Hate Me ft.Ian. I was rocking with it, and that's LGODA was rocking with that too. So yeah, Yachty 2 for 2. But yeah, great weekend entertainment. Not the entertainment's been good the past couple weeks with all the like TV that's been on. And Lord knows my Netflix is back up, and I wish I had Wi-Fi so I could knock some of that down. But yeah, really good. Another really, really good week in entertainment. We actually had a full one with music, TV, and music. When's the last time we did that, man? When's the last time we had a full entertainment segment? Yeah, delivered. We'll see you next week for 209 and see what we got then. Now, I just realized, by the way, since the Olympics are going on in the morning, because it's in France. All right, so we're on European time, so when we wake up is when the Olympics is going on. So I have just realized that, I will be missing some of the events that happen tomorrow morning. But for now, we got what's happened up to so far here with the Olympics. It is one of the most wonderful times every 4 years. The Summer Olympics are here. They are in Paris. All right, we had a very interesting, not highly regarded, but a very interesting presentation for the opening ceremony. Very, very interesting, but that did have that very, very cool shot of Braun looking like Captain America. That was, mwah. Captain, we gonna talk about Le Captain Braun, right? We gonna talk about Le Captain. But yeah, that was that was an iconic shot. An absolutely iconic photo of him on the boat with all the, I think that was a really good idea. It wasn't shot perfectly at all times, but I think that was a really cool idea of them like going through the river. So fair play to the people of Paris for that. But yeah, not the best opening ceremony we've seen, but still very excited about this Olympics, all right, for more reasons than one. Let's talk about the pool, because they kick us off, really. Soccer really is the ones that kick us off, but, swimming's the first ones where we get the actual, major events. And, of course, much of the hype on the women's side of the pool is between the two best, let's be real, the two best women swimmers on the planet are the GOAT, Katie Ledecky, and the Australian GOAT, Ariane Timmis, all right? They're the best in the world. But Canada has their own phenom in Summer McIntosh, who has risen quickly up to the ranks, took the world record in this event that I'm about to talk about, which is the 100 free, or the 400 free. But what would happen here? What would happen here? Would Titmus retain her crown? Will Ledecky add another, gem to her infinity gauntlet that's never ending of her GOAT resume? Or would Summer McIntosh go from princess of the pool to queen of the pool? Well, we found out, ladies and gentlemen, Ariane Titmus is still that girl. She retains her 400 free crown, and the Aussies are still cooking in the pool. It actually goes Titmus, McIntosh, Ledecky. Katie, while still obviously one of the best in the world, but I think some of these shorter distances, she just doesn't have the speed anymore, which sounds so sad and sounds so weird to say because I don't feel like she's washed necessarily. But I still think she's, a demon in the distance. But I think in these sprints, I think Ariane is just on a different level at this point. And of course, Summer is going to be a big, big problem for Ariane, I think, going forward. But yeah, Titmus, McIntosh, and Ledecky lives up to the hype. But the American does get the bronze. But still, a very, very good, very, very good. And then, by the way, shout out to the Aussies, by the way, have been cooking doing wonders with that swim program. They did break the Olympic record in the 4x1. So yeah, credit to the Aussies. They've been cooking up. The U.S. men won the men's 4x1 for I think the third straight Olympics. So more good stuff there. So shout out to Alexi, Juliana Armstrong, and of course the great Caleb Dressel, who is now at 8 gold medals, which I think is fourth all time for most gold medals. So yeah, Caleb Dressel quietly, very, very quietly, very underrated. Probably not. I mean, in the swim community, I believe Caleb is probably treated fairly, but I think on like a world stage for what he's done, I think Caleb is somewhat underrated as like an all-time great athlete. So yeah, shout out to Dressel for grabbing another gold medal. Probably will not be his last, I would expect. What else happened? Oh yeah, Americans, women's side of the pool. Today actually, Huske and Walsh were able to get that gold and silver in the 100 butterfly. So yeah, heating up in the pool. We still got some more events to go that are ongoing, but yeah, America and Aussie running the show as it seems to always go. All right. However, tennis. Single stuff, we're still in those opening rounds, so it hasn't really heated up too much. But ladies and gentlemen, I gotta talk about that matchup. It's not even really a matchup, but it's that doubles combination of the Spanish GOAT, the clay GOAT, Rafael Nadal, and of course the baby GOAT, Carlos Alcaraz. We finally get Nadal and Alcaraz. It's a beautiful sight to see them do doubles. It's a broken team because Rafa doesn't have to, move as much, and he's always been a great doubles player, and that has remained with a partner like Carlos. We saw him getting better, by the way. He was making some classic Carlitos early, set mistakes to begin that game or that match, should I say? But we saw the wheels turning and him just catching up like that. But yeah, I really would love to see Carlos and Rafa get that gold medal. It'd just be cool. Like the images of them like playing together is just so iconic. But yeah, really, really cool. Of one of the greatest of all time, obviously, in Rafa, and then a guy who's, I mean, technically already one of the greatest of all time, but the young baby goat and Carlitos. It's just such cool imagery. And seeing them play together for Spain, it's super duper cool. So yeah, shout out to Carlitos and Nadal. I am rooting for them heavy, even though they're not American. Let's talk about hoops. Yeah, let's talk about some hoops real quick. Sudan. I saw a lot of y'all talking about, hey, USA almost lost to South Sudan. Put some respect on their name, yeah? Put some respect on Sudan's name. I need you to put some respect on Sudan's name. Because they not just anybody anymore. The surprise is out. Ask Puerto Rico about it because they got beat 89-73 today. Shout out to Khalid Jones as well. Sudan is not. Put some respect. They got some hoopers out there. I don't think y'all was acting like it was. Ooh, put some respect on Sudan's name, man. South Sudan is in the building. They take out Puerto Rico in this opening game, in pool play. America also played today, and oh my gosh, it was the two-man power trip, ladies and gentlemen. LeBron James and Kevin Durant. It's as glorious as you would have imagined it 10 years ago. We can honestly say 15 years ago. And just even now, here in 2024, it is still a magical combination between, the guys that are 2/3 of, the players that have defined this past generation. Of course, Curry would be the third man, and he was here as well. But KD started this game off perfect. I mean, was 8 for 8. 8 for 8. 5 for 5 from 3 to start this game. Braun footed with a triple double. He finishes with 21, 8, and 9. KD finishes with 23 and had one miss in this game. We beat Serbia and Jokic 110-84. Halliburton and JT also footed with a triple double with good jobs, handshakes, and waters passed. That's what they were flirting with because they got no run, which was shocking for me. Especially JT. Holly, I thought maybe some garbage time, probably over Derek White, but not even then. But I didn't expect JT to get completely sat like this. But when KD's in that mode, then you gotta do what you gotta do. Very interesting tactics though from Kerr. I think he's gonna be on fraud watch potentially if America stumbles here. But a very dominant start against Serbia. Joker still at 25 and 8 for those wondering. But Braun and KD just too different, man. Too different. It's a glorious thing to see. Even at their age, even the old man Braun and old man KD still cooking, still looking like the two best players in the world at times. But yeah, that wasn't it. Let's talk about the U.S. women's national team, all right, to wrap this up, because they did play today, second game. Won the first game in thrilling fashion. We have the Trent spin. And then today we had the Soph brace, all right? They take out Germany, who was supposed to be our biggest competition in, our pool. But, got it done. In our group, we topped it. I mean, we haven't topped it yet, but 6 is pretty good bet. And we look good. We already advanced to the quarter, so good job from USA. A lot of questions, and Hayes comes in and immediately produces results. We dominate Germany in this game. Sophia got the brace. Mal got a goal. Lynn got a goal. Listen, that front three is of my dreams right now. Of Sophia Smith, Mallory Swanson, and Trinity Rodman. And shout out to Lynn because she got a goal. But really, the big three, the light skinned three up top, the biracial angel three, is just they are hitting for me. It is glorious. It is my dreams. I have dreamed of that combination linking up the way they've been linking up. So it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful to see the women's national team these past 2 games cook the way they have. So yeah, hopefully we can keep it going. But we've looked very, very good and very mighty under the great Emma Hayes. But yeah, Olympics just getting started. We'll be talking about that for the rest of the summer. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the roundup. Reached the roundup, and it's very quiet this week. Honestly, I'm just going to talk about F1 and the F1 race today. Last one before the break, and boy oh boy did it deliver. Spa, which has its sort of chaos. Despite only being 44 laps and having some of the longest laps, it always seems to deliver something. And boy, what a way for us to go out! I literally had George the Genius typed out here in my notes after I watched this race. George was genius. I mean, he was virtuoso. I mean, an incredible stint on those tires to make it a one-stopper, holds off Lewis, wins the race. I mean, the best race he's ever driven at the top level, we could go say. His best win ever. And then it all came crashing down. An hour after the race, he gets called for inspection. We find out that the race car was underweight. So George has to give his win back. Lewis, who was fuming because he did not know that George had switched the strategy, and Lewis felt that he could have got the win, while Lewis gets the win. So yeah, Oscar Piastri, by the way, gets third, which just ties this up perfectly, right? Or now he got second, I guess, since George got DQ'd. But ties this up perfectly. What a way for McLaren and Mercedes, who've been the top 2 teams down the stretch here before break. What a way for them to end, right? Last week, Oscar gets his first win, but it feels like Lando just gifted to him because they messed up strategy. Mercedes messes up George's car, so he gets stripped the win, so it's gifted to Lewis. So Lewis is now the first man to win 2 that's not Red Bull, and probably since Lewis, or actually probably since Charles. So yeah, it's just a rough way to end before break, but Lewis will take it. Lewis will take it. Charles does get that third, so he does end up back on the podium. But yeah, that was just rough for George. After an incredible drive for that car to come in underweight and just to strip all of that away, after how well he's been the past couple race weeks, really, really sucks. And I hope that doesn't stall the momentum that Mercedes has been building. Also, they have been completely shameless, but I get it. Kimi Antonelli has been in a mode. All right, he has been in a mode in F2. And honestly might have messed around and won yesterday in the sprint race before they canceled it because of rain. But, that's Spa. It is what it is. And if they're so worried about it, I don't know if you should do the F2. Even though I'm all in favor of more F2 races, maybe just don't have it in Spa if that's such a big issue. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, chaos in Spa before the break. But Mercedes and McLaren on top. Red Bull, a little bit better this week, but still Checo is just not up to pace. Even though he made it to Q3 and qualified through, the actual race pace just was not there at all. They're almost reeling going. They needed the break. If anybody needs the break of the top teams besides Ferrari, it's definitely Red Bull. So yeah, we will see what happens. Feels like a shift has been made here, but Max was so dominant early on, it's going to be very hard to see if anybody can catch him. But like I said, we'll see. MLB came back from break, and I'm going to be honest, nothing really happened. The Yankees, even though I'm repping us today, I'm very upset because we traded for Jazz Chisholm. And if somebody can explain to me why the hell we traded for Jazz Chisholm, I would love to know. I would love to know because it's not comprehending in my brain why we got Jazz, who is not a secret, one of the most overrated players in the league. If anybody wants to explain to me why that's the move of all the moves we need to make, that's the one that we were like, yep, that's the one. I would love to know because the Marlins were not even going to resign this dude. So I don't get it. But yeah, nothing's really going on in the MLB, and of course everything else is on break because of the Olympics. So yeah, not too long of a roundup, honestly, besides Spa and then me raging at the Yankees. But like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully, please send your good luck to me because there's been nothing but pain for me since moving in this weekend. I literally took Friday off. It was supposed to be no bliss. I move in, we get comfy, we chill, and it has just been nothing but pain. All right, it has been nothing but pain. So kids, you know, you can prepare and you can do whatever, and I highly advise doing that when you move. But you know, it's always something. That's what happens when you're an adult. It's always something. But for now, hopefully the luck comes better here with 208. But for now, please give me Wi-Fi, and Ocho is signing off.